The morning sun peeked through the thin curtains of a small bamboo hut resting at the edge of a bustling street in Manila. The sound of tricycles and vendors shouting filled the air as the city began to wake. Amidst the chaos, a young boy, no older than 12, stepped out carrying a small basket of goods, his bare feet touching the warm pavement. His clothes were faded and his hair was ruffled by the morning wind, but his eyes carried a light that could not be dimmed by circumstance. His name was Miguel, a boy who had known more struggle than most people twice his age. His mother worked tirelessly washing clothes for neighbors, while his father, gone for years, was nothing more than a fading memory. Each morning, Miguel helped his mother by selling snacks and cold drinks to passers-by, humming softly to himself to make the hours go faster. When the world was noisy, his songs were his peace. He sang quietly, his voice clear but fragile, echoing through the alleys. People would pause, drawn by that sound, not professional, not trained, but full of emotion. There was something raw in his tone, something that came from deep within, as if every note carried the weight of his life story. Some would give him a few extra coins, not out of pity, but because his music touched something in them. It wasn't just singing, it was storytelling. Every lyric was a prayer, every melody a promise that one day, life would be different. One evening, as Miguel sang outside a small food stall, a woman stopped to listen. She was a tourist from America visiting family in the Philippines. Her eyes filled with tears as she listened to the boy sing, "You Raise Me Up," with such innocence that the entire street seemed to hold its breath. When he finished, she walked up, introduced herself, and told him she worked with a charity organization that helped talented children. She recorded a short video of his performance and asked his mother's permission to share it online. Within days, the video spread across social media. Millions of views, thousands of comments, and people from all over the world asking the same thing: who is this boy? One message stood out, an invitation from the producers of America's Got Talent. They wanted Miguel to come and audition. It felt like a dream too big to believe. His mother cried when she read the message. Miguel stood still, staring at the glowing screen, his heart pounding. For a boy who had sung on the streets for survival, the thought of singing on one of the world's biggest stages was both terrifying and magical. It took weeks of preparation, paperwork, travel arrangements, and emotional goodbyes. When he finally stepped onto the plane, it was his first time leaving the country, his first time seeing clouds below him. He looked out the window, whispering softly to himself, "For you, mama." The stage lights were blinding. The AG logo shimmered behind him as thousands of faces watched, waiting. His small hands trembled as he held the microphone. The judges smiled kindly, but he could see the curiosity in their eyes. A poor boy from the Philippines standing in front of the world. Simon leaned forward, asking gently, "What's your name?" His accent made the audience smile as he replied, "My name is Miguel. And what will you be singing today?" "I will sing You Raise Me Up." There was a hush. The music began, soft, slow, emotional. The first note escaped his lips, delicate as a whisper, yet filled with strength that made the audience lean forward. It was pure, it was honest. Every phrase carried a lifetime of pain and hope. His voice rose, trembling slightly, then grew powerful, soaring through the theater. People began wiping their eyes. The camera panned to his mother, standing backstage, hands clasped over her mouth, tears streaming. The judges sat frozen, mesmerized by this little boy who sang not to impress but to heal. The entire hall was silent except for his voice, a sound so full of heart that it felt like time had stopped. When the final note faded, there was a heartbeat of silence before the crowd erupted. The standing ovation was thunderous, people clapping, shouting, crying. Miguel stood there in disbelief, his small body shaking, his eyes wide with shock. Simon smiled a rare, warm smile, and said, "Miguel, that was extraordinary. You reminded all of us why we love music. It's not about fame, it's about feeling. And you made us all feel something tonight." The audience roared again. But before the applause could die down, one of the judges leaned forward, a golden button glittering before her. She looked at him, tears in her eyes, and said softly, "This is for every dream that never gives up." Then she slammed her hand down. Gold exploded from above like a miracle. Confetti rained down, spinning in the air like stardust. Miguel fell to his knees, overcome by emotion, his hands covering his face as his mother ran out onto the stage. The judges stood, applauding as the crowd chanted his name. The golden lights reflected off the confetti, casting a glow that seemed to turn the entire room into a dream. He looked up through tears, seeing golden flakes land on his hands, symbols of everything he had worked for, everything he had believed in. The world saw a viral clip the next day. "Poor Filipino boy wins the golden buzzer." But behind that headline was something much deeper. It wasn't just a moment of success, it was proof that talent can come from anywhere. That sometimes, even from the humblest corners of the world, a voice can rise and touch millions. Interviews flooded in. Reporters wanted to know his story. Fans from every country sent letters, donations poured in to help his family. Yet through it all, Miguel remained grounded. When asked what he wanted most, he said softly, "I just want to build a small home for my mom, so she doesn't have to work so hard anymore." Weeks later, Miguel returned to his village. Children ran beside him, neighbors cheered. He was a hero now, not because of fame, but because he had proven what was possible. His mother's eyes glistened with pride as she hugged him tightly, whispering, "You did it, my son." That night, under a sky full of stars, Miguel sang again. No cameras, no crowd, just him and the night. The same song, "You Raise Me Up," carried softly through the wind, this time not as a prayer of hope, but as a song of gratitude. The boy who once sang for coins now sang for hearts. His story became a reminder to millions around the world: greatness doesn't come from where you start, but from how deeply you dream. The AG stage had given him a platform, but his heart had given him wings. And as the golden confetti settled into memory, one truth remained. Sometimes the most powerful voices come from the quietest corners of the earth, waiting for the moment when the world finally stops to listen.